For me, my history was studying international relations and geopolitics, and I realised that to really fully understand disarmament and the treaties and the processes which go into disarmament, I had to move away from international relations and go to an area, i.e. go to SPRU, which understands technological processes, but also the social, the political, the policy processes which go into these, and help to build a more holistic picture of what's going on and what we can do about it. There were two real reasons, I think, that I chose SPRU and what SPRU kind of sold to me was firstly that SPRU is a very broad church. All roads lead to SPRU in a sense. And when I was thinking about which university to go to, I realised that if I wanted to actually look in more depth at disarmament, Sussex and SPRU was the place to do it. When I first started, I'm not particularly academically minded. I never thought that I was going to become an academic or do a PhD. But actually, when I got in and waded through it, that yes, of course, it was much more intense than I'd ever expected before, but the level of support in SPRU, it's a much more collegial sort of team effort, really made that first year surprisingly enjoyable. One of the best experiences that SPRU has afforded me was my ability to go on fieldwork to the OPCW, which is the Organisation for Prohibition of Chemical Weapons, which is based in The Hague in the Netherlands. But through talking with my supervisors and talking through their extended networks and getting support from SPRU at large, especially financial support, I was able actually to spend the best part of my second year living in the Netherlands. So coming back from what was ostensibly just field work for a few months, actually came back with something I could put on my CV, a whole new range of skills and people that I met, and some really useful data for my work. I think in SPRU, a lot of this research impact comes from the fact that we're dealing with big problems, problems which are well known, but the great thing is we're coming from quite a novel approach. And what I found that when I'm looking at my own research, I'm looking at incredibly new contemporary issues in the Middle East, the use of chemical weapons in the UK, in Syria, in Malaysia. And I think that SPRU provides not only the opportunity and space to do that thinking, but also the key contacts, the mechanisms to get that research out. I find one of the most important things that SPRU has given me are my supervisors, because not only have they helped me to get me through my research and to help me progress through the actual PhD itself, but they've opened multiple opportunities for me to meet new people. And I think one of the nice things is that they're always recommending me, for instance, to come to these meetings, and I think that's a really important and often overlooked aspect, and SPRU and the community around us are always looking for ways to help each other. And I think when we did the SPRU forum about 3 years ago, we had the most fantastic 3 days. We had participants from over 20 different countries around the world, about 100 people turned up. And not only can you network in that, but you also get the opportunity to present. And I think that as you progress up the academic kind of ladder, there's more emphasis on presenting your ideas, and it gives you a great opportunity to try and be clear about your thinking. It's really important to be able to speak to people about your research and get feedback and be part of a group. As I progress through my PhD and the more I think about where I'm going, I kind of stumble across this paradox in that the more specialised you become, you often think that where you're going to go becomes more narrowed. But I'm fairly confident that my time in SPRU and the connections I've made enables me to have a very open picture about what direction I want to move in. Coming into SPRU, I realised that actually the range of methods that people are employing in their research is hugely diverse. But through SPRU, offering support for PhD students through the doctoral school here as well, with organising training events, you actually can build up your skills repertoire actually quite quickly and quite easily. And I think what that means for me is that SPRU, in a sense, builds this really nice, harmonious place where people get on doing very, very different things, but you all feel part of a family.